This video from the Innovation Leaders Club will explore how to define an innovation. In order to define an innovation before measuring and setting innovation objectives, you must define what an innovation means for your organization. More precisely, it will cover two alternative ways to define innovation to ensure everyone is on the same page when dealing with it, as well as innovation in the value offering, which is a proven and practical definition of innovation among club members. Don't forget that you can access all the free tools, including the PowerPoint presentation in this video, by clicking the link in the description below. Also, if you like the video, don't hesitate to drop a like, share it with your employees, your colleagues, and even your superiors, and leave us a comment down below. If you don't want to miss a video, subscribe now and get notifications for real and practical innovation management practices coming directly from club members. The Academy works to freely share meeting content discussed during Innovation Leaders Club gatherings. Through online bundles available for a fee, the Academy ultimately provides real and practical methodologies, visuals, and tools that can be edited or customized for your organization, training videos, and much more based on the Innovation Leaders Club members' shared best practices and the collective proficiency of all the members' knowledge. An innovation management system has 5 key components: innovation strategy, front end of innovation, project portfolio management, innovation development, and innovation launch. The definition of innovation applies to all components of the innovation management system. As proposed by Doblin, innovation can take several forms, but innovation leaders usually consider 10 types of innovations that can be combined. These 10 types of innovations can be classified into 3 categories. Innovations in the configuration category are innovations related to the way the organization operates. They include the profit model, how to make money; the network, connections with others to create value; the structure, alignment with talent and assets, as well as the process, signature or superior methods of doing work. Innovations in the offering category are innovations related to what you're selling. They include the product performance, distinguishing features and functionality, as well as the product system, complementary products and services. Finally, innovations in the experience category are innovations related to how customers interact with your organization or connect to it. They include the service, support enhancements that surround offerings; the channel, how offerings are being delivered to customers and users; the brand, representation of offerings in business, as well as the customer engagement, distinctive interactions fostered by the organization. While very interesting, option A is not the definition used in this bundle, as it's too broad and makes it hard to quantify with a common measure, usually dollars, euros, etc. The Oslo Manual, issued by OECD in 2018, provides multiple guidelines to collect, report, and use data on innovation. Chapter 3.9 provides a basic definition of business innovation as follows: a business innovation is a new or improved product or business process, or a combination thereof, that differs significantly from the firm's previous products or business processes and that has been introduced on the market or brought into use by the firm. Here's a link to the 2018 Oslo Manual on the OECD website. The definition is interesting from a policymaker standpoint, but again, option B is too broad for an innovative organization and too difficult to measure. It's mainly used to compare states for benchmark purposes. Never miss a video. Subscribe now and get notifications for real and practical innovation management practices coming directly from club members. Don't forget to click on the link in the description below to access the tools discussed in the video. The preferred option is innovation in the value offering. Many Innovation Leaders Club members use this option because it's a simple and practical way of measuring innovation. There are many types of innovations included in the value offering, but innovation should always be evaluated from an external perspective. Let's clearly define an innovation. Innovation has three components and one specificity. It must 1. Offer novelty to the value offering, such as a distinctive new look or new features. 2. The novelty must be visible to the customer, which means they must be able to perceive and appreciate the novelty of the innovation. 3. Finally, it must create value for the customer. Here the question is not to know if it brings small, medium, or very high value. It isn't about the level of value as long as it brings value to the customer and that the value is different than the current offering. As the perception of novelty is fleeting, an innovation is only considered new for a specific number of years. Therefore, an innovation can take several forms: a new line extension, a new product, new platform, new process, an innovation in the customer experience, a business model innovation, and so on. Who is the customer? For a B2C, business to consumer organization, the customer is the consumer. However, for a B2B, business to business organization, the idea of the customer is rather vague. Most of the time, there is a value chain: distributor, retailer, installer, specifier, buyer, user, etc., and so on. As long as at least one stakeholder understands and benefits from the innovation, it can be considered an innovation. Suppose you haven't defined your innovation yet. If that's the case, we recommend you use this definition as a starting point. This definition has proved its reliability with many club members over the years. Pelican, a member of the Innovation Leaders Club, is a world leader in designing and manufacturing kayaks, paddleboards, and paddle boats. They have based their value proposition on democratizing the kayak by offering attractive, affordable, and easy-to-use products. A lot of their success rests in their effective manufacturing process, an obviously very well-kept secret. Example 1. In order to sustain growth and access a new market segment without cannibalizing their current sales, Pelican developed a new product line, the fishing kayak, as seen in this picture. Referring to the previously stated definition, is this an innovation? Yes, because it has a new look and new features which are visibly recognizable by customers, retailers, and consumers, and it creates value through its new multifunctionalities. Example 2. Pelican developed a new material to improve its manufacturing speed to produce kayaks without changing their prices. Referring to the previous definition, is this also an innovation? No, because while there is novelty in the process, and it creates value internally for Pelican by increasing its margins, nothing changes from the customer's perspective as there are no new functions and the value of the product remains the same. As a reminder, for the market to consider it an innovation, it has to be visible externally. In Pelican's case, if they wanted their new material to be recognized as an innovation, they would have needed to communicate to their customers that they were now using a new material that increased their manufacturing efficiency and in turn offered savings to the market. And so a cost reduction can be considered as an innovation if the value is communicated to the market. Now let's consider various types of innovations on two dimensions. On the left, we have the level of newness to the company, and on the right, the level of newness to the market. On the low end of newness, there are cost reductions and repositionings. In the middle, there are improvements to existing products and additions to existing product lines. On the high end, there are new product lines and new-to-the-world products. The question is, using the previous definition of an innovation, are these all innovations? The answer is an indisputable yes for new products to the world, new product lines, adding to existing product lines, and improvements to existing products. But there is uncertainty regarding repositionings and cost reductions. It all depends if these innovations are visible to the client. Repositionings are interesting because a smart innovator takes a current offering from a specific market and offers it to another market so it can be an innovation for them. For example, a bathtub manufacturer can take a bath launched 6 years ago for a specialized retail market and tweak it to be repositioned for large hardware stores. Cost reductions are trickier as they're usually not disclosed, so they fall off the definition of being visible to the customer unless the organization shares a part of the reduction with the customer. Here is the same graph but designed on a 2D format. Some members find it easier to use. Looking at this benchmark published a few years ago, it's interesting to note that 10% are new to the world products, 20% are new product lines, 26% are adding to existing product lines, 26% are improvements to existing products, 7% are repositionings, and 11% are cost reductions. Even though this matrix maps out the various levels of newness and innovation can embed, club members don't refer much to the 3x3 matrix. Studies have shown that prior to the 2000s, new to the world and new product lines were experiencing higher rates than today. This is mainly due to the fact that organizations have grown their offerings over the years and they must now sustain them. Another model growing in popularity is the 3-level model. It is on a simpler model where the newness is evaluated between markets and products. And so, the markets and the offerings are considered whether they are existing, incremental, or new. This leads to 3 types of strategy. The core, which reinforces the current strategy. The adjacent, which is a potential bonification to the strategy. Or the transformation, when both the product and the market are new. How long should an innovation be considered new? Well, it depends on your industry. Long-lasting innovations such as industrial solutions, building materials, and so on are usually considered new for less than 5 years. Short-lasting innovations such as consumer products, services, and so on are usually considered new for less than 3 years. But for fast-paced industries such as telecom, electronic, medical, and trend-related industries, they use a variable duration. For example, in the video game industry, a new product is only considered new for the first year following its release. A benchmark from the Innovation Leaders Club members in 2009 indicates that only 5% of its members consider innovation new for less than a year, 7% for less than 2 years, 59% for less than 3 years, 5% for less than 4 years, 21% for less than 5 years, and 3% for something else. In this last benchmark, a member moving equipment for the pulp and paper industry considers it an innovation for 7 years. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new videos on innovation management practices discussed during the Innovation Leaders Club meetings. You may also want to get a hold of this free content, including the entire PowerPoint presentation with the text associated in the video, and if applicable, the tools presented. Here's the link to get your free package. Finally, don't hesitate to leave us a comment or watch the next video to learn even more about innovation management practices.